Ryan, thank you for being on the show today.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, can you just quickly introduce yourself, go over AIM Kitchen and Bath Remodeling?
Yeah. So my name's Ryan Pudenz. I've been the owner of AIM Kitchen Bath since 2020 with my wife, Deb. We're a full-service remodel company here in Beaverdale. Been here 36 years, and I've been serving the Beaverdale and surrounding Des Moines communities that entire time. We're a little unique in that our process, we don't use subcontractors. Our guys do everything in-house. We have an electrician in-house, a plumber in-house, painter in-house. Our guys work in teams of 2, and so those 2 guys are on the job start to finish. They do everything from the tear out to the complete rebuild and the finished product. I should clarify, we do use subs when it comes to countertops and shower glass, just simply because those are more specialized and we don't have the equipment for that. And we're also fortunate we own our own cabinet manufacturing company, so we can control that product and put out a level of product that we know our customers want and that we're proud to stamp our name on. So nice. That's a little rundown of AIM.
Yeah. So how did you guys get started into remodeling?
Yeah, so actually, as I said earlier, my wife and I purchased AIM in January of 2020 from the original owner, Pete Giersdorf. He started it, similar to a lot of skilled trade businesses. He was a heck of a carpenter and had a lot of demand for his services, and got to the point where he needed to become a businessman versus a laborer. And so started hiring and partnered with a gentleman by the name of Fred. They settled here in Beaverdale and have kind of built it ever since then. And then my wife and I bought it in 2020 and continue to try to build on what they've done in the past.
Yeah, what inspired AIM's one-stop shop approach to kitchen and bath remodels?
Yeah, it's interesting as you hear about the history of AIM. I think it became very evident up front that they wanted to control the process start to finish. Sure. And so, one of the frustrating parts of a construction project, whether that be a remodel or a complete new build, is just dependability of different subs and making sure they show up and stay on schedule. And I think Pete and Fred from the beginning realized they wanted to control that variable. And so I think that's what makes us unique from a construction side. And then from a design side, everything that you need in a remodel project we have here in our showroom. So our clients really like the fact that they're able to come in start to finish, make their selections without having to go to a bunch of different vendors and retail stores to find tile and flooring and cabinetry. We have all that in-house, and so it's really one stop from start to finish.
Yeah. Are there any companies that your acquisition company owns that complement AIM?
Yeah, so we own a cabinet manufacturing company called Iowa Custom Cabinetry, and of course we use that here at AIM. And then we have a flooring store as well that we're able to, anything that we don't have at AIM, we can lean on them to help us get a product, whether that be flooring or tile. And then we also have an HVAC company, and so we're able to utilize our HVAC company on any HVAC needs on a remodel job, and again, control that timeline, make sure that we have workers showing up when we need them, and also, most importantly, at a level of service as well as craftsmanship that we stamp our name on here at AIM.
Awesome. So AIM's been around for over 30 years. What were some of the biggest milestones that you might have heard with AIM in their business?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest milestone first was when Pete and Fred got out of the field. We're not hands-on on the job, but more in a manager role, and that was a few years after they started. And then, setting up here in Beaverdale and really getting a storefront in place for people to come and do that one-stop shop. And then I think the next thing is there was actually a fire that took place in this building. It used to be 3 different businesses, and at that time they tore down the wall that separated them and merged 2 of them to be AIM, and then eventually the third. So then, that growth milestone.
Yeah.
And then I think the next milestone's when AIM was sold to my wife and I. And so I think, anytime there's a sale of a company that's long-standing, 30-plus years, there's a worry of, is quality going to slip? Is the way they treat employees going to slip? And I think we've proven that isn't the case one bit, and we're very fortunate. Pete's son, Corey, who's worked at AIM for 20 plus years, continues to be our general manager and knows what AIM was built on and stands by that and continues that legacy today.
Yeah. So AIM offers a 3-year warranty going beyond the industry standard.
Yeah.
What motivated AIM to implement this?
Yeah, I think it was just a separation and a confidence piece. So separation from the rest of the market that, generally speaking, does a 1-year warranty. You might see a couple do 2 years. AIM was very big on the 3-year warranty. One, because they had the confidence in the work that their team did. And two, we have the vendor relationships. You know, now we own our cabinetry company, but at the time, our cabinetry vendors, we knew if something happened in those first 3 years, they would stand by their product and help us to get fixed whatever needed. And same with plumbing and electrical fixtures. So, you know, the 3-year warranty has been a big selling piece for us, because I think when an individual is pumping a lot of money into a remodel, they want somebody that's going to keep by it and stand by it and be there as quick as possible if something should go wrong. So we like the 3-year warranty. We think it separates us, and we think it builds confidence with the customers.
Absolutely. What are some challenges that AIM has faced, you know, maintaining such a high standard of quality across all your projects?
Yeah, I think, you know, again, because we control so much of the process, when you look at challenges, the biggest challenges we face is when we're overseeing something that we're not in control of. So a product that we may be getting, and we can't control the quality of that product and how it's delivered. But the nice thing is we're able to overcome that challenge because we inspect everything, and we have a high standard that we expect from all of our vendors that supply us with goods. And if it doesn't meet that, we send it back and make sure that we get a product that does meet that standard. And so if you were talking challenges, that'd be our biggest challenge, is just being able to make sure others live up to the level of expectations that we have.
Yeah. For homeowners planning a remodel, what are some of the most common mistakes that you see?
Yeah, I think unrealistic expectations. You know,
Right.
In today's HGTV world, it's easy to go on and see a remodel show that, you know, a complete home makeover that takes a week and costs $10,000 just isn't realistic, right? And so some of the biggest mistakes is upfront having unrealistic expectations, and a lot of the times that comes down to a timeline piece. You know, one thing with AIM is, and we're proud of this, we have an extended timeline. You know, if a potential client wants to use AIM, they're probably looking at a 6-month wait for us to get on their job, and we're proud of that because it speaks to what people think of our work. And so, you know, coming in with a realistic timeline, and then being able to understand that not everything you can see on your project, and that's where we're the experts to be able to come in and tell you what might be behind that wall and what's realistic of what can be done with the space. And I think if customers come with an open mind and are willing to listen to us and our process, I think they're going to have the confidence to know it's going to get done right, and it's going to be the highest quality craftsmanship they can get in the Des Moines area.
Yeah. With your good, better, best approach in design options, what advice would you give clients looking to balance budget and quality?
Yeah, the biggest thing is sit down with your designer. So our designers go out, they take a look at a space. We call it our estimate in-home, first in-home, to develop an estimate. They're going to look at that space, and that's where they're going to put together the good, better, best. You know, with every fixture, with every type of flooring, countertop, cabinetry, there's options there. And so they build out pricing from a low end to a high end and in the middle. And sometimes customers can get that and not necessarily understand what they're looking at. And so, you know, what I would recommend to a customer is make sure that you take that second appointment, which is our estimate review. That allows our designers to sit down and really walk through that line-by-line pricing and why they priced what they did. And also, if a client is looking for, you know, something more budget-friendly, we have many options that we can accommodate that. It's just being able to sit down and get that feedback and give that feedback to them on how we could save some money for them.
Sure, yeah. As a design build firm with in-house contractors, what trends are you seeing in kitchen and bath remodeling that clients should consider?
Yeah, I think, you know, your floor space continues to be popular. In Beaverdale, because we do a lot of work in Beaverdale homes, you know, the Beaverdale bricks, there's only so much we can do, but you know, that open floor space and floor plan continues to be popular. Our designers are on top of what the popular colors are right now and continue to be. And so, you know, when a client's looking for a potential kitchen or bath remodel, I think what you'll see is our team is very up to speed and current on what designs are popular right now and can provide a lot of assistance to generate ideas if a client doesn't know exactly what they want, and if they do, be able to provide suggestions towards that goal.
Yeah. Any practical advice for remodeling companies looking to offer more seamless experience like AIM?
Yeah, I think always evaluating your process. You know, we are constantly looking at, from someone calling in to inquire about our services to the final product, how can we make that process more seamless and make sure that that client has a great experience start to end. And everything starts with process, right? Yeah, it's the 3 P's of business. It's people, it's product, and it's processes. And first you have to have the right people. Then you have to understand what your product is that you want to promote, and then what's the best process to promote that and make it as easy as possible for the people that are acquiring it or buying it. Sure. And I think that would be my advice, is make sure you have your processes spelled out, you follow them, even though at first it can be tough because it's new. Yep. But if you do, you know, that's when you really start to see efficiencies, and that gets noticed not just by your business, but by the customers of your business.
Yeah. How do you guide clients from their initial vision to their finalized design?
Yeah, it's a great question. And
explain that process.
Yeah, so, you know, our designers work with our design assistant. And so based off feedback from the client, as well as where their expertise kicks in, you know, we're taking those initial selections that they've made and we're putting it into a 3D drawing. We want them to see it, touch it, feel it as much as they can. And, you know, with being in our showroom, what we're able to do is have, you know, our samples laid out of the items they've selected or what we're suggesting, and then up on our TV have that 3D drawing. So they really get to see what I'm looking at in real life, I guess, for lack of better terms, how that would look in their space, and measurements are accurate with their space. So, you know, from that aspect, getting what they're visualizing to become a reality, now it starts to make sense. And then it's, you know, going in and delivering that product and delivering it in the AIM way to really make sure that they achieve exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah. How often do clients change their plan after seeing the renderings?
Yeah, you know, it varies by client, I guess you would say, but for the most part, when we get to the rendering, you know, you've had 2 or 3 meetings with a designer, or that client has really been adamant on what they want. They have a clear vision of what they want. So, you know, there may be minor tweaks, but for the most part, when we put that together, we ask a lot of questions and get some good feedback that there may be minor changes, but I wouldn't say overhaul changes by any means that we experience.
Yeah. Your showroom's a big part of your process. How does having a dedicated space for material selection simplify things for your clients?
Yeah, it's that one-stop shop approach, right? And you know, before I bought AIM, I went through probably 3 or 4 different remodels and went through a home build. And I know what it's like jumping in my car and driving to 5 different stores to look at, you know, flooring, to look at tile, to look at cabinetry, to look at carpet, or, you know, whatever that may be. You know, I think by having a one-stop shop, it just allows our customers to be more efficient with their time. In today's world, everybody's time is so valuable and everybody's busy. So being able to come here and make all those selections saves everybody time, but also keeps the project fresh, right? It doesn't become exhausting because I'm driving all over trying to find what I want. We can do it right here and keep the excitement on the project.
That's awesome. Yeah. What else? You know, after they're in here selecting products, you know, how does that process unfold?
Yeah, so I think it's initially we have some suggestions for folks of, you know, with their space, what we think flows well. Our designers do a great job with that and what's color schemes that they would like. But then presenting that and getting feedback. And if someone says, you know, that might be too dark of a floor, good thing is we don't have to start all over. We can walk right over to the flooring selections and say, okay, here's a lighter shade of that. Is that more what you're looking for? Or, you know, a different tile selection or a different stain on a wood cabinet maybe. You know, having that here just again allows that to become a lot easier and being able to make changes on the fly without having to start all over.
Yeah. Every client has a unique style. How does the team tailor projects to match each client's tastes and needs?
Yeah, well, I will say this. We constantly preach to our designers that it's not your eye, it's the customer's eye. And you need to be able to adjust with what they're looking for and what their style is. And I think, you know, our two designers in-house and our design assistant, Melissa, Caroline, and Teresa, just do an outstanding job of understanding the aesthetic that the customer's looking for and being able to be versed enough to be able to change their design to accommodate that, but also to be able to generate ideas still. So it may not be a design area that they are, you know, they're keen to from their personal aspect, but they can adjust for the client and provide great feedback as well as great options for that client in that design space or that overall space and be able to get them exactly what they want.
Yeah. What's the most unique or memorable remodel you've ever done?
That's a good question. Let me think for a second. You know, I think a couple years ago AIM has dipped its toe in basement remodeling and basement finishing. But I think a couple years ago we started to gain traction in that. And that has been a lot of fun for us. We like to see that. And kitchens are great. We have many kitchen transformations that I could point to, and same with bathroom remodels. But really, I think, you know, what sticks out to me is when we started to get in that basement game, because, you know, you can take a basement that's all concrete and turn it into something that's beautiful and something that client's been dreaming of for a while and just hasn't made the jump. And so, you know, I look at that as some of the more memorable projects of late is, you know, we've got, like I said, great bathrooms, great kitchen remodels that we could list off all day, but really starting to get into that basement space was fun. And to see our team take their talent from, you know, the upper level rooms and bring it down to that basement and realize it translates down there as well, and they're just as good there as they are up on those upper levels was fun to watch.
The ultimate man cave.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, maybe I'm more partial to basements because I am a guy, right? And that's where we like to hang out at. So, but those are fun to see, and they've been a lot of fun to see our growth in that and having more customers come to us for that.
What systems or practices do you have in place to keep communication clear through your project schedule?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate in that, you know, Corey, our general manager, has been here 20 plus years, and Brian, our project manager, is coming up on 20 years. But both of them started in the field. So they started, you know, being an apprentice and doing kind of the grunt work, for lack of better terms, and then going into crew leads and now into management. And so they do an outstanding job of communicating timelines to our customers. Corey, especially as we lead up to the project, and then Brian, you know, does a great job being at the job site with the lead that we have on that team and talking directly with the customer. And then, you know, as another checkpoint, all of our designers stay in communication with their clients throughout the project. So, you know, from an external standpoint, our team is constantly face-to-face with our clients once the project starts. We're communicating with them leading up to that start time. And then internally, we manage all of our projects with the software system here called Builder Trend. And that allows us to stay on schedule and make sure we're not missing anything.
Yeah. After the project is complete, how do you ensure clients are satisfied?
Yeah. So our designer and our project manager, usually about a week to 2 weeks after the project is closed out, maybe even 3, do a final walkthrough with the client. And we delay that walkthrough because we want them to be in the space and really feel it and live in it for a while, and to point out anything that they see that they'd like adjusted or maybe they have questions about. So when a project closes out, our lead is communicating with the client as well as project manager Brian and GM Corey. And then our designer and our project manager are going to do a walkthrough 2 to 3 weeks, call it after that, and just make sure that they understand the functions of everything that they purchased that we installed, and also any feedback that they have.
Yeah, what's that walkthrough look like? What does that typically involve?
Yeah, I think it's really kind of a loose walkthrough in the sense of an agenda. It's more, we get in that space, we start to go through cabinetry. Then we look at the tile and explain the way the layout was and what they've done. And then, you know, if it's in a bathroom, looking at the shower glass, pointing out what could be some things, you know, glass sometimes shifts a little bit. So let us know if that does. We'll make sure that, you know, that gets tightened up. Or using, you know, now a lot of handhelds are popular in bathrooms, and making sure that they understand the functions of that, and making sure all of our soft closes are working on the drawers and doors, and, you know, just confirming everything that the lead had confirmed when we closed out the project. Now that they lived in there a little bit, is everything holding up the way that we anticipated to?
Yeah. With your 3-year warranty, how often do clients take advantage of that or need to take advantage of that?
You know, it's seldom. It really is. It may be something where they just need something tightened, you know, over those first couple years. But for the most part, maybe a cracked tile in a shower, somebody drops something, we're going to go back and replace it. We always do the right thing. So, you know, it's rare that somebody has to have a warranty request. And usually if it is, it's something, an accident that happened, or just natural living in the space, something needs tightened up or looked at. So, and we make those priority. Anytime we get a warranty request, that's usually our first stop of the day.
Yeah. What are some unexpected challenges that can arise during a kitchen and bath remodel?
Yeah, I think it's the unknown or the unseen. You know, if we open up a wall and we recognize something that isn't supposed to be the way that it is, and we try to over communicate that with the client. We tell our guys everything stops at that point till we talk to them and share with them what the remedy is to fix an issue that we couldn't see with the walls closed. And generally speaking, people understand, and they're grateful for us to identify it and fix it and make sure they don't have any problems down the road. So, you know, that's the biggest thing, is just not being able to see behind walls. Unlike a new construction project where you're starting with studs, we're starting with established spaces. And so we do our best with our expertise to understand what could potentially be an issue or something that could come up, but you can't identify everything until you get into it.
Right, right. Have there ever been any, you know, jaw-dropping surprises with remodeling older homes?
Yeah, you'd be amazed at, once we open up walls, some of the old electrical practices that were done. Or, you know, the previous homeowner had their brother-in-law that was a carpenter and did a small remodel project for them, and we would never stamp our name on that. So we you know, when we start looking at those things, then it's just communicating with the client and letting them know, here's why this needs to be fixed, to make sure that, one, your family's safe, and two, the project that you're about to do is, you know, preserved and don't have any issues.
Your reviews emphasize a seamless experience. What are some specific steps you've taken to make remodeling less stressful for homeowners? Yeah,
I think the number one thing, and we pride ourselves on this, and it's interesting, when we posted about it on Facebook, it's probably the one post, and we post quite frequently, that got the most replies to it. And that is, we have to be, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm confident in it, we have to be the cleanest remodel company, gosh, easily in Des Moines, easily in the state. It might be in the Midwest. I mean, our guys, when they leave for the day, everything is vacuumed, everything is picked up. We do not do dumpsters on a job site. We have a guy that drives around all day, delivers parts, and picks up anything that needs to be thrown in a dumpster. We want that space and that driveway and that home to be as normal as possible during this process. And going back to, we wrote about our cleanliness stance and what we believe about keeping a job site clean. And I mean, just customers who have used us and repeat customers saying, you know, my house was cleaner when you guys were there than when you weren't, you know, and or cleaner than what I keep it. Our guys just really do a good job of that, because that's really where you get the remodel fatigue, is, you know, just looking at that space not being finished, or, you know, the dust. Our guys do a great job of cleaning that up, and we also help eliminate a lot of remodel fatigue with our process, with our guys being there start to finish and not having delays, if at all.
Right.
avoidable. Some things are out of our control, but for the most part, we're able to avoid delays. So.
Yeah. How long is a typical job?
Just depends on the size of the job, right?
Sure.
If it's a hall bath, it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. If it's a primary bath, it could be 4 weeks to 12 weeks, depending on the size. If it's a kitchen, it could be a 4-week kitchen to, again, maybe a 12-week kitchen. If it's a basement, it could be a 8-week basement. Just really depends on the scope of the project. So it varies. It's a variety of time, but we're pretty upfront with what we anticipate for a timeline, and we tend to under promise, over deliver. You know, we think, yeah, that's probably a 6-week job. We're usually in there 4.5 and out. So, and I think our customers appreciate that. You know, plan for the worst, 6 weeks, but hey, they got done a week and a half earlier. This is nice, and they did a good job, kept it clean. That's a team I want to work with.
Definitely. Yeah, for someone considering a remodel, how should they prioritize their budget for their most impact?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, what are you going to get the most return on from an investment standpoint, right? What adds the most value to a house? And generally speaking, that's your kitchen and your primary bathroom. So if someone's looking at a remodel and they say, you know, I don't know that this is my forever house, those are the two spaces that are going to add the most value. And quite frankly, if you think about it, those are the two spaces you're in the most, right? So why not make those the ones that you desire to be in? If someone's in their forever home, again, same thing. Kitchen and primary bath tend to be the best spaces that you can target first. If those are done, then like we talked earlier, you know, a lot of folks sit on a unfinished basement, and finishing that just adds value to your home, but also another space for you to enjoy.
Yeah. How do you envision the remodeling industry evolving?
Oh, wow. You know, in today's world, not everything, there's a lot of push on the AI side. The beauty of remodel is you can't replace manual labor. And so, you know, when you look at the future of remodeling, you know, housing market in the U.S., I think they say they're 10 million houses short. We build 2 million houses a year. So, you know, it's not like there's a large supply of homes sitting out there for people to move to, and then rates also affect that. And so, you know, when I look at the evolving of remodeling, I think you're going to continue to have ownership changes, or people that decide they want to stay in that home. So there's always going to be a need for it. And then I think you just see it evolve through design concepts. As new designs come out, you know, that becomes the fad, and we adjust to that. But really, I don't see the industry itself being disrupted, because I think it still requires that personal touch. It requires that human interaction, face-to-face, and decisions to be made, and then quality, skilled individuals to perform the function.
Yeah. Do you see AI being implemented more into the design side of things?
Yeah, totally on the design side. You know, I think even today there are options out there that you can feed into an AI generated program that can spit out a final product as far as a drawing or 3D rendering. There's no doubt that's going to continue to become more, but that end product piece and the hands-on piece won't change. So
yeah. What's your long-term vision for AIM?
You know, I think when you look at AIM and the path that we've gone, I think we'll continue to grow our install team. You know, we probably add 2 to 4 guys over the next couple years. We'll continue to add to our design team, but what we see as a long-term is continuing to be a staple in the Des Moines area and continuing to be the brand that people trust when they're thinking remodel. And I think we'll grow naturally just through the jobs that we do each year, because we keep branching out to that next level of individual that, you know, the neighbor of a neighbor, and they see our work. And so I continue to see us growing the business, growing our approach and our footprint here in Des Moines, and making sure that we continue to have people that are up to speed with what design trends are, what options are out there, and how we can best accommodate the clients that use our services.
Is there any desire to dip your foot into the commercial side of kitchen?
No, that's just not our niche, you know. And really, when you look at the remodel side or even the construction side, it's really separated between commercial and residential. It just tends to be 2 different approaches. And I think, you know, we're big on stay in our lane, do what we're good at. We're good at residential remodeling, and I think we'll continue to do that. as we move forward.
Yeah. Are there any special offers AIM is offering right now?
Yeah, so one of the things that we are talking with our current clients that are kind of into our design process or have looked at an estimate is, we're trying to work with them and we're doing more of a semi-custom cabinetry pricing on a custom cabinet. So that's a nice savings. The other piece is we know we can generate savings through January because of vendor pricing. Usually their annual pricing comes out towards the middle to end of January. So just trying to push on that. And this year we also rolled out financing. So we're pleased to partner with a group called Enhancify, where our customers can do financing if they would like. We've never offered that in the 36 years of business, but we think it brings an option to our customers, even if they have the cash, to put their cash to use on something else to grow while they're making a payment on the remodel, and be able to preserve that cash and grow it while they're also getting the space that they want.
So for listeners interested in home remodeling, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can call our showroom or go on our website, take a look at our work, and on that website we have an information request where you can fill out name, address, phone number, email, and then tell us a little bit about the project you're looking for. And we don't charge for an estimate, so our designers will come out, they'll take a look at it, they'll put together an estimate within 7 days. You'll have it. And then from there, set up an estimate review to review those numbers and see if it fits within your budget.
Well, you heard it here first. Go check out AIM Kitchen and Bath Remodeling. Ryan, thank you for being on the Hidden Hustle.
You bet. Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. For listeners that want to learn more, be sure to check out the show notes below on how to get in contact with AIM Kitchen and Bath Remodeling.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah,
that was
it was
great.
fun.
That was fun.